Far Cry 3 was one of our favourite games of 2012, and 2 years on it's brilliant to see Ubisoft follow on from what made the third entry so popular and made it bigger and better for the new gen consoles. Now set in the fictional Karat, Far Cry 4 is huge, with vehicles aplenty to get around including hovercrafts and gyrocopters.
Yeah, so whenever we're looking for a new location for a Far Cry game, we want somewhere exotic, we want somewhere different, hopefully somewhere another open world game or even a game hasn't been, somewhere that feels fresh. We want somewhere that's packed with animals, somewhere where we can twist reality just enough. Obviously, Karat isn't a real country, but it's sort of a melange of Tibet, Kathmandu, the Himalayas, all those sorts of feelings. And in this one, we wanted more verticality, so we wanted the map to change, more cliffs, more mountains, which allowed us to build new tools.
And just like Far Cry 3, it has a pretty bleak, but at times quite humorous storyline. But this time around you play as AJ Gale, who is travelling to Karat to fulfill your mother's dying wish, but quickly you find yourself caught up in a civil war to overthrow the oppressive regime of dictator Pagan Min.
Yeah, so we worked really hard on Far Cry 4 to build a believable world. So even though it's led by a sort of strange, unusual dictator, we wanted someone that you hadn't met before in the game. So hopefully people who have seen the trailer or any of the sort of footage we've put out so far will realize that he's not a villain who wants to kill you necessarily, which we liked. In a video game, someone threatens to kill you, it's sort of an empty threat because you paid your £60 and you get to retry until you win. So it's not really, it has no sort of emotional impact. So in this one, we wanted Pagan Min to have sort of other aims for you. So he's got a plan, which I won't spoil, but hopefully to get a different bit of a feeling out of the player.
And following on from Ubisoft's other big franchise, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 2 has added in a co-op for players to link up and tackle the open world together. And for PS4 players, you can share what's called a key to Karat, for players who don't own the game, making it so they can join you for up to 2 hours.
We wanted to allow you to bring your best friend into the Far Cry world. We were looking for ways to widen the experience, let you tell more stories, better stories, different stories. And the biggest way we could come up with was to say, well, what if you have all these tools and toys, and then your buddy has the same set of stuff, and you can sort of mix them together any way you like. And it was important that this was in the main campaign. I don't believe in the mode, the sort of barnacle on the side of the game where you sort of load it up. So in our game, what's really exciting is, I see you jump online, I call you in, we play for 2-3 hours in the open world, so all my story missions are paused. We take over some fortresses, clear some bell towers. Then you need to go, fine, all my story missions turn back on. So I didn't step out of my experience, I just got to play the open world in a different way.
Far Cry 4 does feel very similar to the third outing, but that's definitely not a bad thing. Ubisoft knew they were onto a good thing with the last title and haven't toyed with the formula too much. It does seem the addition of co-op, new animals and a brilliant location will be more than enough to bring players in, but to keep it fresh, if and when they head into development for Far Cry 5, more ideas might need to be brought to the table.
I think, obviously if people keep enjoying them, we'll keep making them. That's the biggest sort of factor. Every 2 years feels like a nice rhythm, but it depends on the size of the offering, how different it is, how strong the technology is. So it's sort of not something we're thinking about so much at the moment. We're just trying to finish this one.